48 hours before my wedding, Dad called, "Cancel the honeymoon. Your sister needs you to watch the kids." I asked why. He said, "She's getting her body done. It's a big deal for her." I just nodded. And later we left for Hawaii. When the first photos dropped, the group chat exploded. 48 hours before my wedding, my dad called. Not to give a toast preview. Not to say how proud he was. No, he just said, "Cancel the honeymoon. Your sister needs you to watch the kids." I didn't say anything for a second. I just stood in the kitchen holding the phone like maybe I misheard him. He said she's getting her body done. It's a big deal for her. I just nodded. That's all I did. No questions. No reaction. My fiancé Jake walked in halfway through the call and could tell something was off. I told him after. He just stared at me like he wasn't sure if it was a joke or a weird test. Honestly, I wasn't sure either. Here's the thing, I wasn't surprised. My sister, Carly, had been acting strange ever since Jake and I announced the Hawaii trip. I didn't even post anything public. Just mentioned it at a small family dinner. She didn't smile, didn't congratulate us. Just asked how much it cost. Said something about how lucky I was to have free time. She works part-time and lives with our parents. I guess that's busy. That same night, my mom started talking about how unfair life can be and how some people get everything handed to them. I wasn't even sure who she meant. But I had a weird feeling they'd all been talking behind my back. The kind of low-buzz jealousy that simmers for years and only needs one excuse to boil over. The next day I got another call. My mom this time. "Carly's surgery date just happened to fall during your honeymoon. She already put the deposit down. We just need someone she trusts with the kids. You understand, right?" Said sure. "I understand." Jake looked at me like I'd lost it. I looked at him like, "Trust me," because I was starting to realize something. This wasn't about the kids. Or the surgery. It was about control. And the last straw came from the most unexpected place. The next morning, I was sitting in my grandma's kitchen. She makes this insane sour cream coffee cake, and I usually stop by when I need to breathe. That day, I wasn't even hungry. She just looked at me and said, "They think they're clever, but I hear things." I didn't say anything. She just kept going. "Your mother and Carly don't want you going on that trip. They said you need to be knocked down a few pegs. That you always make everything about you." I felt cold all over. My grandma leaned in and said, "Go on your trip. Smile at the wedding. Don't say a word. But don't cancel a damn thing." That was the moment everything clicked. I started planning something I didn't tell anyone about. Not even Jake. Not yet. Because if they wanted drama, I was going to give them a show. The morning of the wedding, I woke up calm. Too calm, actually. The kind of calm where your body already knows something big is coming, but your brain hasn't caught up yet. Jake was still asleep. I stared at the ceiling and thought about what my grandma said. Smile at the wedding. Don't say a word. I could do that. I'd done it my whole life, honestly. At birthdays, at graduations, even at Carly's baby shower when my parents gave her a check and gave me a scented candle. At the rehearsal dinner, Carly was unusually cheerful. Giddy even. She kept saying stuff like, "I can't believe you're doing this for me and you're the best sister ever." Her kids were running around the table while she scrolled through post-op bras on her phone. My mom was already giving me lists. When they nap, what they eat, what shows they watch on the tablet. I just smiled and nodded. Jake stayed quiet, which was rare for him. I could tell it was taking everything in him not to lose it. But I needed them to believe it. I needed them to think I was going to stay behind while Carly got her dream body and I changed diapers during my honeymoon. My dad pulled me aside at one point. Said, "This is what family does. Sacrifice." He patted my shoulder like I'd just agreed to give a kidney. I wanted to laugh. But I didn't. I smiled. The wedding day itself was beautiful. Sunny, not too hot. Jake looked incredible. The ceremony was perfect. Carly wore a white dress. A white dress. I'll let you sit with that. My mom made a speech about strong women and sisters who always show up for each other. I almost choked on my champagne. We cut the cake. Took photos. Danced. And then around 9 p.m. I made the announcement. I pulled Carly in for a hug and whispered, "I'll come get the kids tomorrow morning. You just focus on recovery." She smiled so wide I almost flinched. My mom hugged me next. My dad gave me a proud little nod like, "Good girl." Jake and I got in the car. I looked out the window as we drove off, thinking how this might be the last time I ever saw some of them the same way. At the hotel, Jake finally asked me what was going on. Why I wasn't angry. Why I hadn't told them off. I handed him 2 plane tickets. First class. Already checked in. Departure. 7 a.m. He stared at them, then at me. We're in Hawaii, I said. He blinked. I thought you told them. I shrugged. I did. I told them exactly what they wanted to hear. The look on his face was everything. Then he laughed. Loud. We packed in 20 minutes. I sent a quick text to Grandma. We're going. I'll call when we land. She texted back a sun emoji. At 6:57 a.m., we boarded the flight. And by 3 p.m. Hawaii time I posted the first photo. Matching lays. Ocean in the background. Caption, for my closest jealous ones. I hit send. Then I turned off my phone. I turned my phone back on the next morning. We were on the balcony of our hotel suite, eating fresh pineapple and banana pancakes. Jake was grinning like a kid, barefoot, already talking about surf lessons. The second my phone connected to Wi-Fi, it buzzed so hard it nearly slid off the table. 32 missed messages. 7 missed calls. 1 voicemail from my mother. 3 from Carly. 2 from my dad. And the group chat. A nuclear mess. The moment I opened it, I actually said, "Wow," out loud. Carly was the loudest. She had started with all caps. You promised. You swore. I booked this. What am I supposed to do now? That was followed by 6 angry crying emojis and 1 random selfie of her in a robe, standing in front of a medical office. Then came my mom. I cannot believe you would do this. After everything we've done for you. You lied. You made your sister feel safe. This was a betrayal. My dad chimed in with his classic guilt tactics. You've disappointed the whole family. I told people you were staying to help. Now I look like a fool. I scrolled through, sipping my coffee. At some point, Carly dropped all pretense. You did this on purpose. You're jealous that I'm finally going to look better than you. That's why you left. Admit it. Jake peeked at my phone. He raised his eyebrows, then reached for more pineapple. Then I saw it. A message from my grandma. Just 4 words. Enjoy every minute, sunshine. And a photo of her holding a piña colada in a plastic cup, sitting by her tiny apartment pool. It was 60 degrees back home. I nearly cried laughing. For the rest of the day I left the chat on mute. But the messages kept coming. Later that night I got a call from an unknown number. I answered without thinking. It was Carly's boyfriend. I'd barely spoken to him before. He sounded panicked. He said, "I just dropped the kids off at your parents'. Carly's freaking out. Cancelled her appointment. She's threatening to leave me if I don't fix this." I don't even know what that means. I didn't say anything. Then he asked, "Did you do this to mess with her?" I told him the truth. "Oh, I did this because I was done letting her mess with me." He hung up. By the next day my mom had written me a novel-length email about family values and putting others first. Jake read half of it and said, "She makes it sound like you abandoned a burning orphanage." I didn't respond. Because I wasn't done yet. There was something else they didn't know. Something I had planned long before the wedding. I didn't tell Jake about the second part of the plan until the 3rd day in Hawaii. We were hiking a trail on the Big Island, somewhere high up where the trees looked like something out of a painting. He was talking about snorkeling spots when I stopped and pulled a folded paper out of my bag. A printed screenshot. He looked at it, then at me. "Is this what I think it is?" I nodded. It was a receipt. One-way ticket. Not back to our hometown but to Oregon. A small mountain town where a little cabin was waiting for us. My wedding gift to both of us. Paid for. Booked 2 months ago. He was quiet for a long time. Then he asked, "You're really doing this?" I said, "We're not going back. Because here's what I haven't said yet. Carly didn't just ruin my honeymoon plans. She tried to ruin everything for years. When I got promoted, she told our parents it was because I flirted with my boss. When Jake proposed, she made a comment about how I was probably pregnant. When I bought my own car, she told everyone I must have taken out a huge loan. And the worst part? They believed her. Every time. My parents never once asked me what was true. They just nodded along like it all made perfect sense. That's who they chose. Every single time. After the 4th round of group chat meltdowns, I'd finally accepted it. I could either keep trying to earn people who never really rooted for me, or I could leave. So I did both. I gave them a performance at the wedding, said all the right things, and now? I was gone. Back in the group chat, things had spiraled even further. My mom said Carly had a panic attack and had to reschedule the surgery. Carly was now saying she'd never forgive me and that I'd destroyed her chance to finally feel confident again. The irony of her saying that while trying to sabotage my honeymoon wasn't lost on me. I never replied. Not once. I didn't need to. Instead, I posted a photo of me and Jake in front of a waterfall. No caption this time. Just tagged our new location. I watched the 3 dots appear under my mom's name. Then disappear. Then come back. Then disappear again. She didn't send anything. But Carly did. One line. You'll regret this. Jake saw it and said she still thinks you owe her something. I said she's about to find out I don't. Because in less than a week we were moving across the country. And none of them knew. We were back in the States by the end of the week, but we didn't go home. We flew straight to Oregon. Picked up a rental car. Drove through winding roads lined with pine trees until we got to the cabin. It was small but perfect. Wood stove. Porch swing. Silence. The town had 1 diner, 1 grocery store, and a post office that closed at 3 p.m. Jake looked around and said it was the first time he'd felt like he could breathe in months. We didn't tell anyone where we were. Not even Grandma. She'd understand eventually. But back home the group chat was unraveling. That night I logged in again, curious. Morbid curiosity maybe. Apparently, after realizing I wasn't coming back, Carly had shown up at my apartment, furious and expecting answers. Only to find it empty. I'd ended the lease early. Furniture gone. Keys returned. Quiet. She sent a photo of the empty living room to the chat. You're a snake. This is psychotic behavior. Who moves without telling anyone? Mom responded right after. You've taken this too far. You're punishing everyone for something that wasn't even a big deal. Your sister needed help. He asked one thing. One thing. My honeymoon. Then my dad jumped in. This kind of selfishness is why no one likes being around you. You always act like you're better than us. Maybe stay gone. That one hit. I stared at that message for a long time. Not because I believed it, but because I remembered being 12 years old holding a school certificate and him saying, yeah, but your sister's trying her best too, don't rub it in. It had always been like this. Then something wild happened. Jake's mom texted me. We'd spoken before but not often. She said he told me what happened. I just want you to know. I would have been proud to have you as a daughter even if you'd never married my son. That message made me cry. Because it was the exact opposite of everything I'd grown up hearing. I showed Jake. He didn't say anything, just pulled me into his arms. That night we sat on the porch watching fog roll over the trees. For the first time in years I felt weightless. We weren't hiding. We were healing. But back in that group chat things were starting to turn. Because someone else finally said something. And it wasn't me. Grandma had been quiet in the group chat for days. Not a single emoji. No passive-aggressive gifs like the ones Carly kept sending. Those sarcastic little thanks-for-nothing memes. Just silence. Until she broke it. Her message came through late at night. Jake and I were sitting on the porch, bundled in flannel blankets, listening to rain tap on the metal roof of the cabin. I was scrolling, not really expecting anything, mostly out of habit, when her name popped up. It was a long message. Longer than anything she'd ever written in that group. It started like this. I wasn't going to say anything. I figured you'd all eventually realize how wrong this was. But clearly you haven't. So here it is. I felt something tighten in my chest. I knew what was coming, but still. Seeing someone else finally say it out loud did something to me. Kendall didn't betray anyone. You all betrayed her. Over and over. She didn't leave the kids behind. She left the people who treated her like she was less important than someone's liposuction appointment. Then she dropped the part none of them expected her to admit. Yes, I heard you. Carly and your mother. In the kitchen whispering about how to trap Kendall into staying home. Saying she needed to learn a lesson. That's not family. That's cruelty. And I'm done pretending it was anything else. I read it twice. Jake leaned over my shoulder and said, holy, wow. But it wasn't done. Carly, I love you, but you've become mean. And entitled. Your parents helped turn you into this version of yourself and now they're mad it backfired. Your sister was the only one who ever kept her mouth shut to avoid the drama. And look what you did the second she stopped doing that. You lost her. That one landed. I could feel it through the phone. That moment when truth doesn't just sting, it cracks something open. The chat went dead for about 20 minutes. Then Carly sent one line. Can't believe you'd turn on your own family. And Grandma replied instantly. You did that first. Kendall just stopped letting it slide. Then came the unraveling. My mom left the group chat first. No message. Just gone. 10 seconds later my dad followed. Carly stayed. Typing. Deleting. Typing again. Then finally. You don't even care what I'm going through. I was finally gonna feel good in my skin and she made it all about her. I hate this family. She left the chat too. And just like that it was down to two. Me. And Grandma. She waited a minute then wrote. Breathe. You're free. Let them figure out who they are without you holding it all together. I didn't answer right away. I just stared at the screen while the wind moved through the trees outside. The kind of silence you don't even realize you've been craving until you finally get it. Then I renamed the chat. Me and Grandma. He hearted it. The next morning I got a message from Carly's boyfriend. Not a call this time, just a short text. She's not speaking to anyone. Said you humiliated her. Your mom's blaming me. Whole house is a disaster. I didn't reply. I'd spent years cleaning up other people's messes. Years being the buffer between my sister's chaos and my parents' excuses. Years pretending things weren't unfair just to keep the peace. But peace built on silence isn't peace. It's just quiet resentment. And I was done. Jake and I stayed in that cabin for 3 more weeks. No Wi-Fi, no check-ins, no expectations. We bought groceries from a general store where the cashier knew our names by day 5. We learned how to chop wood, roast vegetables over a fire, and sleep in absolute darkness. I didn't post any more pictures. I didn't need to. The last image was enough. The one that burned through whatever fantasy they had left about controlling me. I didn't tell anyone where we were moving next. I just forwarded our mail to a P.O. box in Oregon. Told my boss I was working remotely for a while. No explanation. A month after the wedding I got one last message from my dad. Your mother's been crying for days. Carly's not doing well. I hope you're happy. I read it once. Then archived the thread. Because the truth is I was happy. Not in the smug, revenge-y way they probably imagined. Not in the petty sense of winning some family feud. But in the real way. The kind of happy that comes when you finally stop begging people to love you correctly and just walk away. I used to think family was everything. Now I think respect is. And if that makes me the villain in their story, so be it. At least I'm finally the main character in mine.